So I've done the rear delete on the BN125. It's just a simple kit that you buy offline. It's like 15 quid. So the only issue with it is that you have to wire the LED reg light up. So what I've done is I've used old indicator ones from one of the indicators that went bad on the bike. So I've literally just soldered and connected them onto the LED light for the reg, and then these are the wires that go through. There's 3 wires that go through a hole underneath where the seat is. They just feed through the connection wires, so literally just plug in, plug out, so you haven't got any faffing around with them. So now I'm undoing the reg holder, the bracket for it. I've used 13mm bolts, 13mm ratchet, as it's a 30mm bolt. There's 4 of them to take off. I really suggest using WD-40 on these because they are quite tight. But yeah, you literally just take them off. I suggest doing something else as well, which is zip tying. So as soon as it starts to come loose, zip tie the actual fin of the bracket up to the passenger bars, the passenger grip sort of thing, because then it don't just fully drop down like it did on me. Because obviously your wires, you don't want your wires getting ripped out or damaged. But yeah, so yeah, you pretty much just go through, take all these off, and that's it. Sadly, all this is covered up by my hand and my arm, but now I'm loosening off the indicators off that reg holder. This is so then I can feed the wires through, as you have to feed the wires straight through the whole thing, pretty much. These are also a 14mm spanner to take these off. So these are for the right, I think it is, the right indicator. So I've unplugged them up top. So what I've done everything one by one, so there's no way of mistaking which one goes into where. This is the best way of doing it, as otherwise you would have to faff around trying to put 3 different leads into 3 different fins, and there's 2 ends for each lead, so yeah, it's not nice to hassle. So yeah, so what I've done here, I had a little bit of an issue getting these bolts off, but there'd been a repair done to the wire at some point on both of them. So pretty much it's just loosen up the wires, those like clamped on to the frame, so I've had to get a screwdriver and just like free that up. Then it's just pretty much pull the wires straight through, pull the nut, bolt and washer off, and off they come, and then literally have your new one ready like I did. Shit. So you want to feed the wires through, obviously carefully. They do have a lot of give to them, so they are quite forgiving. But then what you want to do is get it all set up and then feed your washers and your nut through. Now you just want to hand tighten the bolt, well, the nut onto it. Don't need to be too tight at this point because you are going to come back and rearrange the angle of the light of the indicators. So now that I've got the new bracket zip tied to the old one, just take off the weight of the lights and the wires. Now I'm going to feed the wires for the indicator back through the hole. Now it's just a thing of connecting the wires back up, so it's brown to brown, green to green on the BN125. All the BNs, if they haven't been altered from factory should all have the same colour wiring. If not, it will be whatever colour, it'll be the same colours to each other. But obviously if you've done the change that I've done with the LED light, which you should do because it's just plug and play, then you just unplug the old one, plug the new one in, which is use the same adapters as these have, and just solder them onto the wires that you're using. Yeah, now I've turned on the bike and I'm just testing the indicators, checking that they're still in time with the front, and checking the hazards as well. So the BN from the 2021, well, the 2021 that I have has hazards on it. So it's also checking that they work. Same again now as the right hand side, we're just unplugging the wires, feed them through, unbolting the light, and that's it. Feed it through, put it onto the new one, and that's about it. So yeah, so now it's at the end, we're just going to make sure the washers are in place, going to get it through and just hand tighten it. Same again, we're just feeding it through underneath, through the hole, and then we're going to plug it back up so it's brown to brown, green to green. It is a little bit hard to see them on this, so obviously I think red is green and black is brown, or it'll be the other way. Either way it'll work. It'll either work when you turn on the indicator or it won't, and then you just unplug them and put them back in. So yeah, same again, just make sure everything works, double checking, turning on the indicators, testing both indicators, then putting on hazards as well. So yeah, that's about it. So same again, we're just gonna undo the wires. This is for the backlight now. It's just a little bulb, which surprised me. It's just a little bulb that slots into the back of it. But yeah, so unplug them and then feed them through. So sadly all this is out of frame. All I've done is removed the wire for the backlight, for the original light, and now I've fed the new LED reg plate light through the hole. Pretty much all it was a wire with a light on the end. It wasn't connected up to anything, it just slots in to the bracket. Same again, turn on bike. So I was quite surprised how bright this light is. So it is literally just a light up your reg at night. But yeah, so it's just go through, test all the light and make sure everything works, make sure the bike starts up with it all on. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. So now I'm just tightening up the number plate. So with this, I would highly suggest getting some washers to put in. because otherwise you are bending the plastics, and obviously over time that's going to make the plastics crack. I suggest getting washers, put one on the side where the nut is, and then put as many as you can in between. I've put 4 washers in between. This gives it enough leeway so then it ain't pretty much crushing the plastics. It's the best way of doing it. And then it's a 30mm bolt again, just back and forth, tighten one side up as much as you can, tighten the other side. So usually you would do a star pattern, but you go one side to a certain tightness and then you go to the other and go back and forth, back and forth. So yeah, while you're tightening it up, you want to be keeping an eye on how straight the light is. So the light on this one has 3 LEDs, so the middle one of the LEDs is in the middle of the bracket. So if you get that matched up with the LEDs on your back light, the centre of the LEDs on there, with the centre on the reg light, you should have it pretty much spot on. Now, even though in view, I'm just zip tying the wires so they're loose enough so they've got some play in them, but so it's taut, so it's tight to it, just so then there's no chance of it getting caught on something and getting ripped out. It just stops any issues in the future. So here's what it looks like after deleting it. So it's nice and tight up. With this, there's a lot of adjustment that you can do to move it up and down. The wires, obviously, you just fold them over, stuff them into the back next to the battery. So here's just a quick look at what we've done. So we've added the reg delete, and yeah, so zip tied it all up, neatened all the wires up. Now we're gonna fold up the wires and just stuff them back underneath the seat. But yeah, cut off all the zip ties, obviously, with a sharp pair of scissors or pliers or anything like that. Snips would be best. But yeah. So this is it with hazards on, with the reg light.